Okay, I think I'm on. So this is what it has come to, people. The thought of editing a video, like, taking the time to film it and then editing, this is what it has come to. We're going to do a live show. So it's my latest videos, there's not much fancy about them. There's not much editing happening, but I'm happy to be doing videos. And this one here, I don't know what he wants this afternoon. So he's going to hang out with us. This is Arthur. I was hoping to have him on a video soon, and he's very cute. But he doesn't seem to want to eat, doesn't seem to want to sleep, but he wants Mama to hold him. So that's what I'm going to do. All right, I don't know if I'm going to be able to see comments from there. So let's do, sorry, this is the first time I've tried to be able to look at comments if I get any. I don't know if I will, but I just want to get it up and running. Let's see here. Do you see yourself, Arthur? Do you see yourself? Do you see the baby? Look at the baby. Look at the baby. Okay. So let's see here. My channel. Top chat. Okay. I think if anybody leaves any comments, I'll be able to see them. So I just thought I'd talk about what I have currently read and what I'm planning on reading soon. Kind of the same general things I've been doing. Next week, we are going to the beach. So it's going to be a little bit nuts with the two boys. And it's like 24 hours round trip. So it's a lot of driving. But we have, I'm getting several audiobooks for Peter, like the Winnie the Pooh audiobooks and stuff. And I think that should be good, hopefully. And then also, I got, are they here? Okay, I'll show them eventually. Some books I'm really excited to read out loud to Peter that are ones that parents... hi, Amanda! I love seeing your comments, so thank you for watching, and I'm so glad you think he's cute. What was I saying? That I think, our read-alouds that grown-ups can enjoy as much as kids. I'm hoping he's cognitively ready for it. I think he is. But anyhow, I'm just going to go through a whole list. This is, I did before, like, my reading bookshelf or something. So the first one, I have not read an Angela Thirkle, I think since last spring. So this is the Brandons. This is the next one in the series. And these are just very, they're modern classics, and they are, very funny, witty, just very, humor driven, and just kind of larger than life plots. So this is about a widow, and, her cousin is going to stay, and he falls for his hostess, which then cousins, would fall for their cousins. And meanwhile, her ill-tempered dowager aunt, so her widower aunt, is stirring up controversy over her legacy. So it seems like very typical Angela Thirkle. You want your passy? So yeah, so that's one I want to read, and I think it could be a really fun beach read. We'll see if it happens. And then I am ashamed to say, I started this as a buddy read with Kate Tonks last year when I was feeling so crummy. So I didn't finish it, but I really want to. And that is Royal Flush. This is the Daisy Dalrymple, not Daisy Dalrymple. I'm getting my cozy series mixed up. It's the Royal Spinus series, and she is she has title but no money, so she works as a maid without people knowing it. She works as a maid on weekdays. So it's really fun. The only reason I stopped it is because how crummy I was feeling. Then the Max Tudor series, that is about the former MI5 agent turned vicar. I got sidetracked last summer, and these are each set in the 4 seasons. And so I got sidetracked before I could get to A Demon Summer. And hi, Stephanie. Yes, baby. So it says, this one, he's slowly falling in love with a witch in the town, which is very interesting for the vicar to fall in love with like the local witch. And this involves an abbey. So these are cozy mysteries, fairly well written. I think if you like mysteries, like if you like cozies, you would enjoy it. So yeah, it's fun because these all, take place in different seasons. So I like to read, those things. And oh, and of course, the poison is found in a fruitcake made and sold by the handmaids of St. Lucy of Monkberry Abbey. So I always think that's such a device in cozies for poison to be embedded in baked goods. Okay, then I really, really would love to get to this, the second in the Parasol Protectorate series. This is a YA fantasy, very fun and frivolous. If you really, don't typically read YA, but you just want something really fun, this is about ladies who go to a finishing school, which, is under the guise of turning them into ladies. And it does that, but it also turns them into assassins to help with the government. And it's set in the Victorian era and it's steampunk, very fun, by Gail Carriger. So I read the first one a couple months back, and the second one is called Curtsies and Conspiracies. So I also have the audiobook, so no excuses, not to read that one. Then this was a totally spontaneous pickup. I'm a sucker for the new mystery section at the library, and this is Bloodstains and Bronte, and it's in the Crime with the Classics series. The first one is Arsenic with Austen. So I think it could be a lot of fun. And it's during a writer's retreat in a Victorian mansion. So if a book doesn't say Kate, I don't know, I don't know another way it could say Kate Moore. So then if you have been watching my channel for, any amount of time, you will see that I have talked about the author Mary Stewart, and I'm reading with so many fun ladies this year, reading through all of her books. And the next one, I'll get to that in a minute. But anyhow, one of Mary Stewart's favorite authors that she said she loved was John Buchan. And so I looked him up, and lo and behold, he wrote The 39 Steps. I watched a movie of The 39 Steps a couple years back, and I really loved the plot. It's really exciting and fast-paced. And what I like about that is, even though the books might not be that character-driven, they seem short enough that I would be fine with them being so plot-driven. So The 39 Steps is 145 pages long. This doesn't have a summary here for me to tell you, but it's lots of espionage and government secrets and people following other people secretly, and it's really great. So I think that could be a great beach read, but also we have limited space, so I really have to pick. What do I actually have space for? Then an audiobook that I'm currently listening to is The Mapping. This is so bad, I can't even remember the name of it. It is the 4th Maisie Dobbs, and I accidentally skipped the 4th one. I don't know how that happened, but I did. And so once, I was looking through the list, I thought I had the 8th next, and I had skipped it. So I doubled back to read this one. And this one is really fun. There's a farm, and there's just kind of the farm is going to be bought by a family that Maisie knows, and there's a sinister atmosphere. Oh, look at this tired baby. Are you so tired? So she's trying to figure out why is this atmosphere so sinister here? What has happened? Then another totally, completely, utterly frivolous read, and that is a YA romance, which I usually crave one YA romance a year. And last year I read All the Colors of the... It's just so bad I can't remember it. Anyhow, When Dimple Met Rishi. And this is one that I hear people who don't normally like YA talk about this one. So it's about two, is it Indian? Yes. Yeah, so the Shahs and the Patels, and these two teens that I think they fall in love. So that one sounds like fun. Then, if there's any time I want to read Neville Shute, it is in the summertime. And this is A Town Like Alice. This takes place in Australia during the Japanese invading during World War II. So a really like unique window time in history. Do you want to stand? So I really loved the movie growing up. It's like a 5-hour movie or something. And I really like Neville Shute. If you like adventure tales that are really plot driven, then I think Neville Shute's a good guide to go to. His writing is very simple. It's not flowery at all, but it's just really fun. Good old fashioned fun. So I've read Pied Piper and The Trustee from the Tool Room, and those were both really fun. So yeah, good like summer adventure stories. Some of these are like ones that were on my summer TBR last year. Okay, then top priority, Desperate Remedies by Thomas Hardy. This is his attempt at a sensation novel. And I am not doing any more research on this book because it seems like it has so many twists and turns. It's really easy to be spoiled for it, and I don't want to be spoiled for it. So we'll see what we see. But I do love Thomas Hardy. He's one of my favorite. He's become quickly one of my favorite Victorian authors. Very lyrical writing, and yeah, it's really great. So I do want to get to this. So I don't plan on like blasting through this in a week or anything. There are very few Victorian novels I think I could actually do that for. Let's make sure the stack of books does not fall. Then one I hauled like, I don't know, a month ago or something. This is a golden era mystery, The House Without a Key. So this is an author that isn't quite talked about as much. And these are set in Hawaii. He is a Chinese detective in Honolulu. So I think that just sounds so unique and really neat that since it is a Golden Age mystery and it's still around, I'm guessing the writing is pretty decent. And yeah, so yeah, set in Honolulu. And I don't really know any other mysteries that are set in Honolulu. I'm sure there are, but I haven't heard of them. So then there are just so many Victorian ones that I want to get to. I'm currently reading Shirley by Charlotte Bronte and I'm really enjoying that. But then I also obviously want to get to Desperate Remedies, and then I really want to read these two. This is The Heir of Redcliffe. This is on my top 5, Victober predictions, and it's one that Jo March reads, and it just sounds really great and dramatic, so melodramatic like so many Victorian novels are. And then this is A Burglary by Amy Dillman. This is one by Hano Publishing. Hano is a Welsh publishing house. So, hi Angela. Yes, let me know if you read it and if you like it. And yeah, I'm really excited to get to it. And the first chapter I think I've read, and it just is very quick, easy to jump into it quickly. So yes, A Burglary though, it's a comedy, and it says it's a novel of manners. And it's so funny. I just saw it said it was sold in 3 volumes, and they called it then a 3-decker, which I think is really fun. So there is a woman, an heiress, robbed of her prized jewels, and different people are accused. But kind of the whole time who the real culprit is, and he goes unsuspected until he falls for the heroine. So it's just supposed to be very funny. So worst case scenario, I would be okay reading this come Victober in October. In case you haven't been following my channel, Victober is a month-long celebration of Victorian literature. And so this would be the 3rd year. As far as I know, it's still happening. Katie, if you end up seeing this, you can contradict me if it's not. But as far as I know, I'm just signed up for the foreseeable future for Victober. So this could be a really fun one, and I think it's really nice to read things besides like the big names like Dickens. And so I think it's really neat that Hano is publishing not only Welsh authors, but specifically women Welsh authors. Then there is The Monster in the Box, which I started forever ago, but I'm so torn between so many books. Ruth Rendell is one of my most favorite mystery writers. So But she is topped by, I was discussing this with Kate Tonks from the novel Nomad, Elizabeth George. So Kate and I are very excited. We're going to get to this eventually after Kate has finished for the sake of Elena. But I told her, like, I finished it a couple months ago because I wanted to finish it before Arthur was born. But I told her, don't worry, it is still very fresh in my mind. So I can totally discuss it with you still. I love Elizabeth George so much. She has such a, like, her mystery plots. Oh, Amanda, that makes me so happy. Yes, default setting. I love that. Amanda saying, Victober was her default setting for October every year. It's just, that's, once the cooler temperatures come, I'm just really, especially even more in the mood for Victorian literature. So anyhow, Elizabeth George's books, I find a lot of times with mysteries, I'll go back to reread it and I'm like, who was the killer? Who ends up solving it? But hers just stay with me so much. So just such an emotional impact because I'm so invested in the characters. So, yes, eventually we will get to this, and I'm really excited because two of my favorite side characters, Simon St. James and his wife Deborah, are in this one, and they're on vacation when something happens. Okay, so two spontaneous ones that I picked up at the library. The illustrations made me think of the series of Unfortunate Events. And this is the Children of Green Nose series. So it sounds really unique, very mysterious. There's an ancient manor, and old magic, and just, all, magical things. Hi, Kathy. Thank you for joining. So this sounds like a lot of fun. There's a whole bunch in the series, like 8, but I really liked, this one is 183 pages, and it just sounds like just a great children's adventure story. So yeah, I think it will be fun. Okay. Then later on in June, the next Mary Stewart read coming. It's just so fun to look forward to this every month. And that is Stormy Petrel by Mary Stewart. And this one is set in Scotland. So the last one, unfortunately, my brother Michael, I don't think I had talked about after I finished it, was unfortunately just not as much of a hit with me. I don't know what it was. Some of the plots just aren't a home run with me. And that one I just kind of felt not as invested in the characters, and I just didn't care about the plot as much. It's so funny because a lot of times her ones written that take place in warmer climates. Thank you, Bethany. Just something about the ones, in warmer climates for some reason aren't a home run with me. And so I think maybe also I had already decided the Moon Spinners was my like Mediterranean Mary Stewart that I liked. And so hi, Helene. Yes, yeah, When Dimple Met Rishi. I have high hopes for it as much as I do for any YA romance. I don't really read YA romance, so I'm never blown away by it, because I don't crave it that much. But you know what? This one could maybe be amazing. I wanted, a frivolous read, and so hopefully it will fulfill that. But I find the ones that I read just don't stay in my mind that much. Yeah, so Stormy Petrel, Kathy, is rather short. It is only 215 pages. So actually pretty much every Mary Stewart that I've read that is shorter, I have really enjoyed. So I think kind of the ones that maybe aren't as interesting to me, even if they're shorter, I just find I fly through them. So I'm thinking Madam, Will You Talk? Rose Cottage. I think Touch Not the Cat might be a shorter one. So I'm really looking forward to, at the end of the year, I'm going to reread Nine Coaches Waiting because it's my favorite. And I want to see if Touch Not the Cat has actually topped it. But I don't think it has. Anyhow, a bunch of us who have been reading through them are going to do a live show, and it's just going to be so much fun. Oh, the ivy tree. Unfortunately, I think Brett Farrar kind of ruined part of my experience of the ivy tree because the ivy tree, she's totally doing a nod to Brett Farrar and then totally like her own spin on it. Oh, okay. So Angela, you say it's a bit cliche but a great summer read. Okay, that's what I'm wanting. I'm like, if I'm fine with cliches, sometimes. So that's good to hear. Yeah, thank you. I'll let you know, and I'll be posting on Instagram about it. Let's see if he'll be happy in the swing. 1 second. Okay, we'll see how long that lasts. So as I was saying, yes. So we're gonna do a live show. It'll be so much fun. So yeah, and I actually ended up happening upon a Mary Stewart biography. And it was really interesting to hear. She had, when she was very first married, she had an ectopic pregnancy. So for those of you who don't know what that is, it's really sad. It's when uh, the egg fertilizes in the fallopian tubes. So sorry if this is like TMI for people who don't want to talk about it, but anyhow, I thought it was very interesting. And then because of it happening there, there's lots of scarring, and often women will have trouble having babies after that. So she had this ectopic pregnancy, and it really, really devastated her. I want to make sure my charger is plugged in because I'm low on battery. Anyhow, and so then she just like threw all of her energy into writing, and there's this fabulous like 20-minute interview with her, and she talks about that and how she just writing kind of gave her drive. And so obviously it's so sad. She really wanted children and she was never able to have children, but how amazing, like what an amazing lady that she decided she was just gonna write stories and tell us stories. So kind of a really cool silver lining. Yes, Angela, he is singing the I'm Tired song. I don't know what to do with his baby. He's so tired, but he woke himself up from his nap, and he's not a rock me to sleep baby. He's either like put me in my bed or I want to be up. So he's happy for now in the swing. Let's see how long this lasts. Babies. So yes. So I thought that was really neat to hear about her just really having this amazing writing career. So the books I referenced earlier, if you're just joining me, we are going to the beach in a week, and it's going to be 24 hours round trip driving. So that'll be interesting. So I did, I don't want to be relied upon to do like the reading for the whole trip. So I do have I'm downloading some audiobooks for Peter, and as backup, I'm also downloading some movies. I want to have it just all set up. And I feel bad if Arthur's going to be crying a bunch. I feel bad for Peter that he would just have to hear that the whole time. So we're getting him headphones too, because he's going to be stuck back there with his brother. Anyhow, though, some books that my dad read to me as a kid, and I don't think I had talked about on this channel because I didn't own any, but they were there at the library just calling out to me. And yes, thank you, Kathy. I appreciate it. Are the Freddie the Pig books. These are by Walter R. Brooks. And they are about a pig named Freddie who lives on a farm. And there's all sorts of just really fun plots. So he lives on, it's called the Bean Farm. And this first one, I think it's the very first one. I could be wrong about the series. It's called Freddie the Detective. And toy train disappears, and then the dog's dinner is missing, and Egbert the rabbit is nowhere to be found. So Freddie the pig is on the case. Having just finished reading Sherlock Holmes, he and his partner, Mrs. Wiggins the cow, set up a detective agency in the barn. So I just love that this is, a mystery to hook kids on mysteries. And it just has the most charming little illustrations. This is him with Jinx the cat, which is a fabulous name for a cat. Oh, Amanda, take me with you. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's what. Yes, that's why I asked specifically the ladies if I could read the Mary Stewart after the beach, because I could end up having, there's going to be tons of family there. I could end up having tons of reading time. They could be occupied, but I don't want to bet on it. I don't want to count on it. So I did not want to have any buddy reads where we chat every day about the chapters. The ones that I do with Kate from the novel Nomad, those are more low key. So I'll probably read some of the Amelia Peabody, the fifth in the series, The Last Camel Died at Noon. And I also have that downloaded on my phone. So that's like reading I can jump in and out of. But I did not want to have any I just don't want to stress out about reading this whole year. That's, my reading goal at the beginning of the year was to read some. So I don't want reading to be a source of stress. I want it to be like, oh, great, I had some reading time, not like I'm going to die if I didn't get reading time. So then here's another illustration, the armored train. I'm really excited to revisit these. These are books that I really remember a lot. And then this is Freddie Plays Football. Peter saw this one and he really wanted this because Peter is very enamored with sports right now. He's been doing a soccer class this summer, and let me tell you, there is nothing more comical than 12 3-year-olds playing soccer. It's interesting. Very interesting. So then the local high school lets him play on the football team, and drama on the farm with an inheritance, and Freddie needs all the help he can get from his detective partners. So it seems like maybe he's a detective in this one too. I can't remember how many my dad actually read to me. Okay, then the beginning of last year, 2016, 2017, can't get my years straight. I decided I wanted to read a lot more fairy tale retellings, and then that fell off the rails, which is fine. I want a mood read, so that's what I'm doing. But one of the authors that kept coming up when I was searching for quality fairy tale retellings was Robin McKinley, and this is Spin's End. So this is a retelling, I'm guessing, of Briar Rose or Sleeping Beauty. Yeah, that's what it looks like. So this was, out of Robin McKinley's, this is one of the first ones that popped up. So yeah, like I said, a retelling of Sleeping Beauty, and I think that could be really fun. And hopefully easy to dip in and out of. My life now being what it is, dipping in and out of those kind of ones are ideal. And then a book that I just want to gush about now is Wives and Daughters by Elizabeth Gaskell. I know you're saying, Kate, you've already gushed about this book 20 kajillion times. Why are you gushing about it again? Because I just finished my reread of it. Oh, so good. It was the most fun It was the most fun group of ladies. And I'm so happy to say that all the ladies who finished it were utterly enamored with it as much as I was. So Katie from Life Between Words, Kate from the novel Nomad, Mel from Mel's Bookland Adventures, Doris from Audiobooks, Carolyn from Carolyn's Reading Ramblings. I really don't want to forget anybody because everybody was so lovely. Oh, Helene, have you read Wives and Daughters? Please let me know if you have read it. Oh, you're teasing me. Yes. Oh, that makes me so happy that you've read it. And I think she's such a good character, but she's not sugary sweet. So, okay. So yes, finished the reread, and I have been so nervous to reread this. A.G. Howard, Angela, I will have to, and Kathy, I'm so happy you're reading this. I feel like I'm a Wives and Daughters evangelist. So yes, really fun to, towards the end, I got so behind that I just listened to the audiobook, but at the beginning, I was sitting, listening to the audiobook, not sped up, and underlining quotes and everything, and just really delving into it, taking my time, reading all of the notes at the back, and just such a treat. It still makes me very sad. Elizabeth Gaskell had a sudden heart attack before she finished there probably would have been like 10 pages left. But just to have that nice, like, little bow tied on the end. We know how it's supposed to end. She told her editor, and Novel Nomad, Kate from the Novel Nomad, sent us all a link, with everything about the ending. So it was really fun to see that, but it still does make me sad. So, always to cushion the blow that she wasn't able to finish it, I'm going to rewatch the miniseries. Angela, that is a fabulous plan, and I'm so excited you are doing that. So, yay! I really think everybody who read it said it doesn't feel long. It doesn't feel like, it looks so intimidating. This looks very intimidating, but I'm telling you, it's such a gentle read. It's such a gentle read. And it's definitely, I recently reread North and South, and I said, oh, I don't know, like, I really enjoyed this, but Wives and Daughters is still number one. So yeah, the things, these are, I'm not going to say spoilers, so I won't, give anything away, but the things that I found heartbreaking the first couple times, I find even more heartbreaking, as I read about them again. So, Kathy, I would say when I want something just totally emotionally that I'm just going to feel such a like deep connection with, and just feel my spirits lifted, I want to read Wives and Daughters. But if you're feeling more like you want something atmospheric, you want something very, very romantic with a capital R, really dramatic, really great social commentary, North and South it is awesome. And I actually will say, as much as I adore the main couple in Wives and Daughters, I actually felt a little bit more like all giddy about the like romantic resolution at the end of North and South. I felt really giddy about it, and I wasn't anticipating that because the main character, Mr. Thornton, is the main character, Mr. Thornton, is kind of like Darcy, and Darcy, I have never been one of those girls who's like, I would marry Darcy in a heartbeat. I would be embarrassed to take Darcy home because he's such a party pooper. Like, I've never wanted Darcy. I want Mr. Knightley, or Roger Hamley from Wives and Daughters. But the thing I found about Darcy is he is a good man, and so he grows on you with each reading. So the same thing happened with Thornton. He is a good man, even if he's like so awkward. So, Helene, yes, it is coffee. And let me tell you about this cheeky thing I have started to do. I have started whipping cream. So, taking heavy whipping cream and beating it, getting it all fluffy like whipping cream, and putting that in my coffee. It's like a homemade cappuccino. So good. So good. I finally got to the point where I don't really like having sugar in my coffee, but I don't know if I'll ever not want cream. I love cream so much. Yes. Trying to think of anything else. I don't have like any other new books, but I'm having so much fun chatting. Yes, Helene, do it. You will not regret it. It's so good. I put like two dollops, and it gets all foamy at the top. It's so yummy. How do I compare Gaskell with Trollope? I think that's a really good question. Well, I'll say this. So far, the novels I've read out of Gaskell, they feel much more unique and distinct than Anthony Trollope's. His feel more similar, and I'd say I kind of think you get to know his characters more on a surface level. I'd say I read Trollope and I'm going to be amused. I read Elizabeth Gaskell and I'm going to have a big emotional connection to at least some of the characters. So yeah, I like them for different reasons. I'd say, especially Trollope is really lovely for audiobooks. I really enjoy when I'm embroidering, listening to him. Oh, hi Krista. Yes, I think his, like I said, the second time around reading it, his awkwardness is endearing. Like he's trying so hard. Like Krista, do you remember the scene where he tries to shake her hand, but in the South, ladies didn't shake gentlemen's hands, and then she's just like so overwhelmed. She doesn't know like why is he shaking my hand? Why is he doing that? Um I just love that scene. And then he's all hurt, and I just like, oh, why didn't you shake his hand? Um, yes. So he's definitely grown on me. He has. Um, yeah. So I'm surprised. I tried to rewatch North and South after finishing it, but I was so enamored with the book that I just kind of gave up halfway through, which it has one of the best ending scenes out of any period drama ever. All right, I'm gonna attempt to put Arthur in his bed real quick. This is gonna be like really funny if somebody tunes in while there's just the couch and I'm not here. I'll be back shortly. Okay. So like I said, that'll be really funny if somebody just like tried to watch and then there was nothing there. Okay. A few to go. So Amanda, did you not read The Warden first? because that's the one I started with. And I actually enjoyed it a fair amount just because I did the audiobook and I just read it in like 3 days. Um, and then Kathy, I couldn't agree more about wishing there were more Gaskell books. It makes me very sad. I think she was only in her 50s when she passed away. I think she would have gone on to write many, many more books. And then Krista, I have read Cranford, and it's hysterical. So it's very, I would go in with it not thinking it's going to be like this big overarching plot. It's like a lot of little vignettes. Yeah. So I enjoyed the Warden simply because I did it as an audiobook. Okay, can we talk, people that are here, can we talk the new Little Women? So I'm going to make a bold statement for those of you Little Women fans. I think, and for those of you who don't know, theater just did a new adaptation of Little Women. It's saying very bad connection, so I'm sorry if this is all skippy. Hopefully it's not too skippy. But they did a new adaptation of Little Women, and Heidi, I can't remember her last name, but the same woman who did Call the Midwife did this adaptation, and it was really good. I think after the second episode, I said I liked it better than the 1994 movie, which please don't hate me because I know I was very loyal to it. But now after the third episode, I think they're tied. There's different strengths about the 1994 one, and there's different, strengths about the newer one. So the things that I liked better about the newer one was Meg and John's romance wasn't made out to be a joke, and I felt like it was just like treated as comedic relief in the 1994 movie. But in this one, I thought it was really sweet and just showed, like, I just thought John was such an unappealing character in the 1994 movie. So I really enjoyed that aspect. I also really liked the actor who played Laurie. I know some people really didn't like him, but I really liked him. And the Emily Watson who played Marmee was fantastic. She was wonderful as Marmee. Another thing that it gets points for me for is its portrayal of birth. There are so many movies that show women as being helpless during birth, but like, I mean, look at all of the humans that are here. We wouldn't be here unless it was for women. And so I liked that. It showed that it's really hard, but women are amazing and strong throughout it. And you do what you got to do. And so I really liked that. It showed Marmee just like really encouraging Meg throughout the process. I thought that was really special. And then after the birth, Marmee is just taking care of Meg and giving her a bath, and it's just very, very sweet. So yeah, points for that. The one thing that I thought was really not as good was in this newer version. I thought the character of Amy really suffered. Like, I feel like I sort of felt like Amy was less of a brat by the end of the 1994 movie, but in this one, she just still seems really shallow. And the whole thing with her and Laurie is just very, very awkward. Very awkward. So yeah, I didn't think that did it better. And I felt like I got to know the characters a little bit more. Joe and the professor, I really liked the guy who played the professor. So yes. Yeah, Krista, I'm like kind of neutral on Amy, but this one, like, I definitely disliked Amy more. Like in the scene when she burns Joe's book, like she seems at the end of it like she's just apologizing because she's made to apologize and not because she's actually sorry. So yeah, I don't know how I felt about that. You know what? I want to look up that Maisie Dobbs that I'm reading. It's really gonna bug me that like I don't know what it is. Yeah, Krista, it's very, very good. Unfortunately, now I think the first episode is expired on PBS, but The second two are still up there, but also they come out, Masterpiece Things, that's the nice thing about them. They come out on DVD like right, as they air. Um so if you were really desperate, you could order the DVD, or you could just check on your library's website, and I'm sure they are ordering it, and you could put a hold, and try to be one of the first people to do that. And it is An Incomplete Revenge is the current Maisie Dobbs that I'm doing. Yes, Krista, do, and let me know what you think. I was going to do a whole video about it, but like a video review of it, but I just find I am so focused on packing for the beach and like how to fit everything that I don't think it's going to happen. And I'm like, well, I'm here. I might as well talk about it now. So yes, so this Maisie Dobbs, I think it's interesting. It takes place during the hop picking season, which I think I did never think that like people pick hops. So that's like an interesting setting. Also, it talks about the Romani population and kind of how they're somewhat ostracized in society. Um, yeah, very, very interesting. Especially because I know someone, a guy who's adopted, and his family was Romani, and it's really interesting to hear. Like, he has memories of, before he was adopted and the orphanage he was in and everything. So it's really interesting that Jacqueline Winspear and the Maisie Dobbs series, I feel in each one kind of pulls out some history that I didn't know as much about. And this is one thing that I didn't like. How were Romani people treated in England in this era? And they're still a somewhat marginalized population. So very interesting. So this weekend, I'll just talk about my weekend plans because I'm having so much fun doing this live chat. This weekend, I am going to try to, do some more of the Maisie Dobbs, and also listen to some more of the Agatha Raisin, the Witch of Wiccaden. I think that's how you say it. It's kind of a weird word. Oh, Krista, yes. I think it's just like the perfect marriage of character development and coziness and mystery. So, yeah. And I just love it. It's like a very glamorous series, because it's this period setting, and it's just great. And also some recurring characters, and you also get to see kind of this lots of development with Maisie. So anyhow, I will be trying to do those. And tomorrow morning, I'm very excited. I found a recipe for homemade Pop-Tarts. We'll see how this goes. It never occurred to me to make them homemade. But I made the dough. You're supposed to chill the dough. It's supposed to be very chilled. So I just wanted to go ahead and make it today. And then there's like a cinnamon sugar filling that you put in, and then you like sandwich them together. And then you do a drizzle on top after they're baked. We'll see how it goes. Trying to think of anything else. I can't think of anything else. I'll show you my current progress on my Berlin woolwork. So this is one that I started last August. And I did a whole like Victober video on it because this particular style of embroidery, Berlin woolwork, was really popular in the Victorian era. So I finished the whole top row of this. So now I'm working on the second row, and there's 5 rows total. So I'm currently working on this white flower. And I was particularly excited to work on this because I think I really like the flowers like this, how it has, all similar shades and colors, but you can really still see like the lines in the flower. So this, I'm doing the whitest part here, and then I'll work on to like the creams and the off-white and the pearl colors. So I'm finding this to be really nice to do watching TV, or especially listening to audiobooks. And the podcasts, I'll talk about that. I've become obsessed with podcasts, and I would at some point like to do a video just the whole video dedicated to podcasts. Thank you, Krista. It's going to take me like a cajillion years to finish, but it's really nice to pick up this beautiful project whenever I have it. Peter recently, though, requested a dragon cross stitch. So I don't want to pay for his birthday's in September, but I don't want to pay like all the money to have it framed. So I think maybe I'll do a pillow because I think he would really enjoy having a dragon pillow. What was it? Oh, podcasts. Yes. So, if I get around to it, it'd be nice too if I could link these podcasts. But anyhow, Bonnets at Dawn, you've heard me talk about. So the next one I have lined up for Bonnets at Dawn is one where I like to go back and like do the backlisten podcast, and it's Victorian women writers. Sign me up. I'm all about that. Then a cooking one that I've really thoroughly been enjoying is Milk Street. So this is like everything you could want in a food podcast. It is like a food variety show. So they have like a quick tip each episode. They do some kind of international food thing. Oh, Amanda, that's great. I need to like really catch up on the backlist of Victorian scribblers as well, because it's just so fun. And it has usually like they interview someone who's written a new cookbook, and just interesting facts. And the quality is amazing. So yes, a very, very fun one. Then the other one is Tea and Tattle. Tea and Tattle is really, it's just about making your life kind of as lovely as possible. So making your home an inviting environment, cooking lovely things, just spending your time doing lovely things that you really want to do. They have an episode on hygge, and I think it's each Friday. Yes, they do tea reads, and they just talk about a book that they love, and a lot of times they'll read a poem aloud. So it's really lovely. A really interesting episode where they interviewed a woman with, I'm going to find the specific episode. Oh, this is so annoying. Now I can't find it now that I wanted to tell you about it, but it's with Min Kim, I think is her name. Yes. Yeah, it was a fascinating one. This woman wrote a book about this professional violinist loses her Stradivarius violin, gets stolen. And I didn't know about the Stradivarius violins before listening to this, but they're violins that they aren't able to make them anymore. And they are utterly priceless. And so she's this violinist. She feels so connected to her violin, and then it's stolen in a cafe. And she writes a book about it, and they interview her. Then there's one called Eating with an interview with a woman who wrote a book called Eating with Queen Victoria. So just lots of very interesting ones. So she's a cook historian. Yeah, so Tea and Tattle, a lot of fun. And let's see, anything else? There's a really excellent one from the BBC called The Food Program. And this is just all sorts of random things. Japanese whiskey, African food, comfort food for dark days, porridge, Christmas dinner, eating as a family, eating alone, diet and dementia, creating food, celebrating food tradition, a passion for cake. So just any food topic you could want. I've really gotten into cooking lately, and yeah. Helene, I have heard about so many damn books, but I'm very like, very particular with my reading podcasts. Like I find I really like Anne Bogle's What Should I Read Next, but I don't often find that I hear about books that like I want to drop everything and read them. And let's see. Catching up with the chatting. Yes, Helene knows all about Huga. So I love seeing Helene has, some vlogs showing like what it is. Oh, too hot for Huga today. 28 degrees Celsius. I wish I could just know in my mind like the conversion to from Celsius and Fahrenheit. Um Yes, Krista, I know. I find I always have to choose between booktube, audiobooks, and podcasts. I think it's just whatever I end up wanting to that wanting to like listen to or watch at the moment. Oh, and Krista, yes, I cannot wait. Katie from Life Between Words and Molly from Molly Reads are releasing a podcast. They're starting. I think it's going to be weekly. I think. Um, Starting June 13th, called No Thanks We're Booked. And it's going to be so much fun. They're just going to talk about their lives and books in their lives, just everything. And they're such charismatic personalities. I'm so signed up. Oh, thank you, Angela. 85. Yeah, 85 is getting up there. Oh, 82 degrees Fahrenheit. That's so funny because I grew up in Mississippi, Helene. And hi, Ange. How are you? I grew up in Mississippi, okay, guys, and like 95 would not be a crazy summer day. 95 would be kind of your average summer day. So we were either inside with our air conditioning, which I think Americans are too obsessed with air conditioning, but it's such a bummer because houses aren't built like for air conditioning. And or we were at the pool. I like lived at the pools in the summertime. So yeah, I am looking forward to this next week. The place that we're staying at the beach also has a pool. So I think it'll be fun. Yeah, Helene, I really, yeah, I am really, this has been so lovely to be on. I get so daunted just by like editing, but I really want to talk to everybody about books, even though also there was a couple weeks where I really wasn't reading much and I was really enjoying not reading much. Since you don't have AC and it's pretty humid. You know what, Angela, I do find humidity, like, there's so much humidity in Mississippi, but people have air conditioning. I find humidity, like, is really, like, the factor that determines whether, it's gonna be, like, really uncomfortable or not. Humidity, you just feel like you're, like, swimming through the air. Yes, yeah. So dry heat, I've heard, is not as bad. Oh, I visited Seattle once, for like a long weekend, and there's almost no humidity there. It's amazing. Um, well, Ange, since you just got here, I'll just tell you real quick. I was telling everybody how we're going to read Stormy Petrel, but we're reading it after I get back from the beach. Because I just don't know how the boys are going to be and how my focus is going to be, how my sleep is going to be. I woke up at 3 a.m. this morning and I just was not able to get back to sleep. It's so annoying. And I don't often feel like reading physical books when I'm sleepy. Sometimes I'm willing to do audiobooks. I've done like a little Maisie Dobbs today, but haven't really felt like it. Oh, yes. I would love to live at the ocean if it weren't for, I wouldn't want to live like on the actual beach because when hurricanes come, they just like smash them down. My grandmother has lived in Myrtle Beach for, oh, thank you, Krista. Yeah, I hope we have a lot of fun. Peter loves the beach. So, but, I would, love to live at the beach as long as it wasn't, actually on the beach. But my grandmother has lived there for over 20 years and her house has always been fine. Her house is like a half mile back. So yes. Um, yeah, I find like podcasts are easier. Oh, it's like I wish I would just turn on audiobooks. Sometimes I feel like I just if I just turned it on, then I would enjoy it. But often I'll just resort to like Instagram stories on Instagram, and read those. All right, I'm gonna get the baby real quick. I'll be right back. Yeah, I think this baby just can't decide what he wants. So here we are again, huh? You don't know what you want. Let's see. Yes. So I want to really ideally finish those audiobooks this weekend because I have other ones checked out. Oh, another one that I had checked out and I forgot to talk about until now is Bill Bryson's. Oh, which Bill Bryson is it? I'm gonna look it up because that's really gonna bug me. Um, so yeah, yeah, he's back. My mother-in-law says he looks like the hungry little caterpillar when he's like this. Okay, Bill Bryson. That was another. I had him on my summer TBR last year, and as we all know, my summer reading went to pot last year. Um, but it's not Notes from a Small Island. I just thought he would be really fun to read in the summertime, so I got an audiobook of it, and it is The Road to Little Dribbling. So it's him traveling around England and visiting the different places. He's just supposed to be a really like funny, winsome travel writer. Yeah, so I really want to read him. And then also, I did just remember I'm like in the middle of The Silver Chair with Kitty from Life Between Words. Angela, he turned 4 months on Saturday, and I find thank you, Ange. I find that like they kind of their personalities really like come alive at 4 months. I think before that they're really sweet, but I just really enjoy as they get older. He's starting to like giggle and he gets so excited when he sees his brother. He goes like his whole face lights up whenever he sees his brother. It's very, very sweet. Um, so yeah, it's really fun to see him. And he laughs at his brother whenever his brother does silly voices. So yeah, I personally I don't really like pine away for the newborn stage again. I do miss, like having a baby when they aren't babies anymore, but I really enjoy after they've, kind of come into their own after several months. Anything else? So, Ange, what are you? I saw. what did you post about? You had just gotten sent a new book. So what are you reading lately? Yes, Angela, he does smile a lot now, which is really rewarding, especially when he's given us like a rough night. I love when he will actually, in the morning, no matter how rotten he has been. Yes, yeah. So I'm really excited, and like he's only 4 months old, and Peter, loves to give him kisses and things, and so I can't wait for when they're. Oh, the Illumination of Ursula Flight. That was it. Okay. Um. Well, I hope you enjoy that. It's always fun to get like a shiny new book. Um. Yes. So I think that's pretty much everything I had to talk about. I'm so glad you are loving it. That is so great. So I don't know when I'll do it again, but this is really fun. Maybe you should also try on like a weekend night. I don't know if people even want to watch, more people want to watch me do live shows. But this is what it is. So yeah, thanks for watching. I really should probably go work on dinner. Making a turkey soup tonight, and so I boiled the bones to make a broth. So it's always nice to have like a fresh broth. And I'm gonna put in green beans and corn and what else am I gonna put in there? Noodles. It's gonna be really good. So yes, thanks for watching, everyone. And in the future, if you watch, thanks for watching. There were some gaps in there. Yeah, so have a lovely weekend, and I'll probably do this again soon. And let's see, how do I turn it off? Well, let's see, it doesn't want to turn off. This is. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Ange. Let's see if I can actually figure out how to, after I said bye. Okay, are you sure you want to start?